Sound a little loud. Maybe. Yeah, that's good. I mean, is it though? That's good. There it is. Good way to test this open strings against fretted strings. Sounds a little sharp. That's better. Sounds out to me. There it is. Is it though? I mean, that's not bad. Not bad, but that sound doesn't sound, is that the right sound? It is, okay. All right. It sounds a little off to me. All right, son of a bitch. Yeah, I was just tuning this freaking thing. All right, that's a Floyd Rose too. You gotta be kidding me. All right. This is gonna take multiple friggin' times here because I'm shooting. I'm going. There we go. That's good. That's a little sharp. That says it's in tune. Let's hear it. That's pretty good. That's not bad. You know, you want those fretted notes against those open notes. And then you get it. I spent a lot of time tuning it before I got here, and it was all for nothing. That sounds good, though. That sounds acceptable parameters. I guess that's all right. I'd say this intonation needs to be checked. How's it look? Well, it looks right. I've been playing this other guitar, my Strat, that's like perfectly intonated. So you get to this and you're like, what the frick? Yeah, that's pretty good. I have a real pet peeve for out-of-tune guitars. Nothing will make me turn away from your video faster than an untuned guitar. Chapman used to be the worst for that. They would sit there, that would go so out of tune, but they had a policy of just plowing through. You know, just plow through and get, no one will even notice. Oh, really? No. Now, some people did notice, and they were like, why are you playing the guitar so friggin' out of tune? They corrected that eventually. They stopped doing that. But they used to have a policy of, even if it was completely out of tune, just plow through. That G sounds out, doesn't it? Meh, meh, meh. Sounds freaking sharp. All right, that was pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, sharp. What'd I say? Oh, is this not loose? All right. The Tunatronic 3000 says it is in tune. Okay. Is it though? I don't know which way I move the neck. That's better. Not bad. Son of a bitch. All right, let's check this thing again. What, I gotta stretch these strings out? Is that what's going on? I'll do it. Don't tempt me. All right, come on. Yeah, it's a little flat tolling now. I think that's what was happening. I think the strings are just a little too fresh. Frosh strings. Let's see how it holds now. Hold. Not bad. All right, it's going to have to be that because we're already 8 minutes in. All right, who do we got here? I think the intonation's out. That's what it sounds like to me. It's freaking pissing. It's pissing me off. You know, it's been a shitty week. All right, let's just start with the premise of this prior 7 days. It's been a shit week. Let's just start with that. I don't want to get overly negative, but it's been a real shit week. I believe that. I believe that that's okay. Oh, oh my God. All right, so I woke up, and wake up Monday night. I guess it was Monday night. I realized it was getting cold in here, and I was like, "Furnace not working, right?" Because remember we had a problem a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, with the furnace, and the guy was like, I can get it going, but at some point it's just going to shit the bed. It shit the bed. I went over and I said, "Oh God, it's dead. What's going on?" And so what you do is you open the panel up and there's a light, and the light blinks out a code, right? And the light was out. That is a bad sign. So I said, "Oh, well that means it's dead at the breaker. My breaker panel is right there, way back there." So I went over and they're labeled, and I checked the furnace, and sure enough, it was popped. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's probably it's not a good sign when your furnace pops the frickin' 20 amp breaker." So I said, "Okay, let me fire up the breaker." I had turned it off at the furnace. Fire up the breaker. I keep the front panel off. I reset the burner. I don't even know if it was popped, but I just reset the burner button on the side, and I fired it up. And it sits there and it goes, it goes real fast for like 2 minutes, right? Because it's got to clear all its codes, and it's got to go through a self check. So it runs the fan on high for like literally 2 minutes, and then it calms down. And now it starts the cycle. So it's just about to strike, right? It starts to go slowly, right? It slows the fan down. And it goes pop in the burner box. And a bright flash of light scared the shit out of me. And I had never, there's an arcing rod in there to start the burners. And it went out to the crankcase, right? Went out to the casing, it arced out. And it popped the fuse. And I was like, "Oh, there's a happy ending to this story, but not really. Only if you like to throw money at things." So that pop, seriously, scared the living shit out of me. I'm like, "Oh my God, that is not good," because that's where the gas meets, right? The gas goes in through there. And I'm worried I'm going to have a goddamn explosion or a fire. So I don't want to start it again. Instead, what I do is I go up to the thermostats and I turn off the heat. I turn everything off. I turn off the call for heat. I turn the fans from auto to on, right? Just so the fans will kick on. I go back, I reset the breaker. I turn the furnace back on again, and it fires up, right? The fan kicks on. It's not calling for heat, so it never tries to fire up the burner box. But it does turn the fans on, and then I just cranked up the fireplace in the living room. We have a gas fireplace, which actually has it's got a motor, right? It's got a blower on it. It's literally a heating appliance. I just cranked that up. And I was like, "Oh, I got to call." So I had a guy come in this Friday, this past Friday, to look at replacing the unit, right? Getting a new furnace, because I knew it was on its way out, and I know this guy. He's the guy that put the original furnace in. And but he moved out of the area, but we're close enough that he'll come here and do it. So I called them up. I said, "Hey, listen, just so you know, my furnace just shit the bed, so maybe this this free estimate is going to turn into a paid service call. And she was like, I said, I just didn't want to ambush the guy when he gets here. And she goes, understood. But, of course, there's a huge disincentive not to fix it because I'm there to get an estimate on a brand new system. So he's going through. He's like, yeah, we're going to have to replace this out pipe. There's a new code. You can't use PVC any longer. The out pipe has to be this new material that's kind of expensive. Luckily, you have kind of a short run. It won't be too bad, but it is going to add more expense. And I'm sitting there going, oh, my God, how much is this going to cost me? Jesus, that sounds like more money. So he goes, let me go back to the place. I'll go back to my shop. He goes, I'll whip you up an estimate. I'll send it over. So he sent over the estimate. It was the same exact system, a 2-stage, 96% efficient carrier system. It's the identical system to what that other guy a few weeks ago was quoting me $10,500. This guy was $8,000, $2,500 less. And so I think we're gonna. And he goes, and you don't even have to pay me until this other guy wanted like 33% up front. 33% at the time of 33% at the sign of the contract, 33% to order the materials, 33% on the day of installation, or like 30%, and then like 3% at the close of the work being done. I'm like, well, that sounds like no incentive for you to finish the job. This guy is like, you just pay me once we put it in. Just write me a check and we'll be good. Because he's been here before, right? We dropped 11 G's back in 2008 for a whole new system. So, and if you go to Carrier, he's like the highest rated Carrier guy. So I'm like, I just go with this guy. And unlike that other guy who was like, I have my friends sometimes do jobs. That's code for I don't do installations. I just do maintenance. And I farm everything out to this other guy who is that dummy cousin Nicky who practically ruined my friggin' air conditioning system. I'm like, anybody but cousin Nicky. And so when I asked him, I said, you're going to install it, right? He goes, oh, yeah, we don't farm out our work. He goes, we do everything. He goes, the only thing I farm out is the electrical because I don't have an electrical license, and you need one in this state. He said, so he's the only guy that can pull a permit. He goes, so I'm going to have to bring in an electrician, but other than that, we do it. I said, okay. So, I know, I should have moved to Worcester. That house is down to $599. So, yeah, that sucks. Just in time for Christmas. So, this prior 7 days, and the next 7 days, right? So, this prior Sunday to today, and next week's Sunday to Saturday. This week, was between 45 and 55 degrees every day. Next week, it was between 55 and 65 degrees. Barely going below freezing at night. This year, this past week, we weren't too bad until friggin' Thursday. I got no friggin' furnace. And we get a friggin' polar blast. I woke up, there's a thermometer on the wall in my room. And I friggin' look up, it's 50. It's 10 degrees out. That's minus 12 for you Celsius people. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cold. The house was like friggin' ice. Even with the fireplace on, because you just can't overcome that. And I had a couple of space heaters in place, but I don't like cranking space heaters up to their maximum wattage because I'm afraid we're gonna have a fire. So I'm keeping them at like low to medium settings at max because I don't want to overload everything. And the electricity in this house, I think it's the front living room, my son's room, and the attic are all on the same friggin' line. It's like stupid. I'd have to have an electrician come in here and start to break that up if it's at all possible. So you got to be real careful. I know the lines that are like single lines, and so I'm like focusing on that. And I literally went out and dropped $150 in space heaters, because even worse than space heaters is the cost of having burst pipes. So I can't have that. And we literally were so freaking cold. Anyone who lives around here knows it got cold yesterday. Really freaking cold. So, and it's going to continue all next week. Highs in the 20s and like barely around freezing. So, yeah. That was my week. Running around, getting freaking space heaters, freaking out. And I got 4 floors. 4 freaking floors. Basement, first floor, second floor, and the attic. I know exactly, right? The furnace never breaks down in July. Jesus. Exactly. It used to happen before the pipes could burst. You know, I was just... So what I wound up doing was taking the 2 space heaters I had and putting them in the bathrooms, right? Because that's the only thing you can really do. And then, like I said, turning the air on, just the fan, just to blow everything around. When I came downstairs yesterday, on the wall it said it was 48. But that's a cold wall. Gotta remember, my walls aren't insulated. The inner one said it was 60. So, right, that's more, because it's just so freaking cold out, right? It's chilling that wall down. And the wind was blowing on that wall in that like direction. So, you know, I had fans blowing around and everything. Today, because it's so much warmer out, it's like in the 30s. Like, wow. Right? Like, almost 40, like 37 we hit today. It was 74 in the living room. That's pretty awesome. And the bathrooms, you can go in and use the bathroom, and it's not like freaking ice in there. And, you know, you don't want it too cold in there, especially if you're running a shower, because that just condenses on everything. All the walls get drenched. So you really got to keep it a little bit warmer in there, you know. So I think I have it under control. It gets installed not next week, because he's busy all next week. So I got to suffer all next week with no friggin' heat. But so far it's been staying not too bad with the new ones. I literally bought 4 new space heaters in addition to the like 2 I had. And no, the oil filled is what I mainly use. I only have a couple of air blowing ones. And then the week after that, the week of the 15th, they're coming to put the new one in. So it's on tap. Anyway, how was your week? Oh, I don't even want to tell you about the shrinkage. You know, my Audi became an innie. Oh my God, I was going, someone said sitting on heated seats. I was going out to my car to warm up. Just sit out here. And I'll sit out here and warm up for a few minutes, and then before I have to go back in my friggin' cold ass house. The 10? Yeah, G. Yeah, minor. G, A minor, G. I always thought it was there, but they're saying it's... Oh my God, the cats are losing their mind because it's so freaking cold here. They keep going in front of the grates waiting for the heat to come on, and it's not. They've discovered that the space heaters radiate heat. The oil-filled heaters radiate heat, and they've been sort of hanging around those. Well, I was going to say, is that Buddy? Right there? It's not, it's Henri. You thought it was E, really? I've seen it G. I always thought it was. Oh, thank you, Demont. Thanks, buddy. I could use, not gonna lie, I could use it this year. To be serious, it was phantasmaglorious. Well, I'm glad someone had a good week, you know? You took all the good that was supposed to happen to me this week. You took it. Got electric heaters and a few Mr. Heater little buddy heaters. That's what I use out in the garage, the little buddies. They say you're not supposed to use those indoors, but people do. But I'm good now. I have pretty much one for every, like, main space. The kids have their own. And between the, really it's the fireplace that cranks out the friggin' heat. Really does. You can't run that fireplace without that fan on, though. It would get too hot. It goes against spec. So they're like, you know, you pretty much have to run the fan on it to blow it and constantly cool it down. But it's been running for a friggin' week, you know. It's gonna be buying a bunch of friggin' smoke detectors. Between the space heaters, it's like I'm gonna buy like a half dozen friggin' smoke detector every 10 feet. Another friggin' smoke detector. You can't block the space heater. Yeah, so that's why I don't use the air ones. Right, they're basically an oversized blow dryer. I pretty much use the radiant heat. I get the oil filled, and I just think they're safer, and they're good. So I have an oil filled in each of the bathrooms. I have one on the first floor, right in front of where the air comes out from the furnace. So that's the only one you go up. You can touch it. It's practically cold because the air from the furnace is cooling it down, you know. But it works great. The temperature shot up in there by 5, almost 10 degrees. So it really does sort of like spread that warmth around, and instead of keeping it local. It's really the bathrooms, you know. Although the bidet toilet seat there is a heated seat. You never think you're friggin' lucky stars that you had a heated seat than when it's like friggin' 55 degrees in that friggin' bathroom. Everything you touch is like ice. And you sit down and you're like, oh, thank God. Can you imagine that? You imagine the friggin' shock to the ass that seat would be if it wasn't heated? Working friggin' overtime. But yeah, new furnace. Just a quick 8 G's, bro. Don't get cheap on me, man. But you just moved to Wisconsin, so you know what I'm talking about, you know. I actually bought 3 carbon monoxide detectors, too. I have 3 CO detectors, and I have a ton of smoke detectors. I literally have one in every room. I have one at the bottom of the staircase and one at the top of the staircase. You know what? No one ever said, you know what? I have too many smoke detectors. Said no one ever. You know, I mean, smoke detectors are a good thing. Cold bathrooms are motivational. Yeah. It's quite the motivational speaker. First experience with a heated car seat. Driving in the summer, I thought you shit yourself, yeah. I have heated seats in my car. The only problem with the heated seat is I almost think it's like too much. I think I want it, and then I turn it on. I'm like, oh God, I'm dying here. The freaking seat is so hot in the car. But I was in Florida, and it was so humid. We were driving back from the airport, and because it was through my wife's work, they had sent like a friggin' car service to pick us up, like a friggin' Lincoln Town Car. So, you know, we're driving back from the airport to the hotel, and I am dying, and my daughter's like going cuckoo. I'm like, will you please calm down? I am like losing my mind. And the guy goes, you know, that's an air-conditioned seat. You want me to turn the air conditioning on? And I was like, sure. Oh my God. Where have you been all my life? It was the greatest thing ever. Just pulling the friggin' heat right out of me. Oh my God, it was so awesome. I was like, this is the best thing ever. How do I not have air-conditioned seats? Yeah, the little buddy are the ceramic ones. I have one in the garage, but I don't think I'd ever use it indoors, you know. It's a propane, you know. The one thing we do have is 200 amp service to this house, so I can run the electric ones, but never on 1500 watts. I run them all on so there's 2 elements in it, a 600 watt and a 900 watt. And you can turn the 600 watt one on, the 900 watt one on, or both. And that's when you get the 1500 watts. I never run both. I only run either the 600 or max the 900. In fact, my son kept turning his up. I took it away and gave him one that maxed out at 700 watts. It only has one setting on, and that's it. There you go. Because you can't be trusted to run it on the low. He's like, it gets too cold in here. I'm like, we'll figure it out. Because I can't, we're going to have a goddamn fire. You know, you can't plug a 1500 watt appliance into a knob and tube connection. We're literally going to have a friggin' fire. So, I shut it down. And to top it all off, I got a broken blood vessel like right here. It's killing my freaking head. It's like right on the corner. You son of a bitch! You've used the little buddy inside when the furnace dies, and you just got to do right. You got to do what you got to do. Luckily, I have the friggin' gas fireplace, which is literally, it's not decorative. It literally is a heating appliance. Because man, I'd be in, that puts out a lot of BTUs. You know, without that, I'd probably be in real trouble. But you know, it should be good. The new one. And like the guy pointed out to me, he says, because it's the guy who put it in before, it's his son. He's like, my dad put in the Infinity. He goes, but you don't have the Infinity control board, and you don't have the Infinity thermostats. He goes, pretty much you're running it like a performance model. He goes, it's the same thing. It's a 2-stage. He goes, but you're not using any of the PCM fan. He goes, you're only using 2-stage fans. He goes, so why would you spend the money on the Infinity? Because you don't have the thermostats in the control box. He goes, and that's going to run you thousands of dollars more. You know? Oh, thanks so much, man. A little help to stay warm this winter. I need it. I really appreciate that. I know, exactly. I could use a few beers. Your gas fireplace will work with a power outage. See, I don't know if mine will. I think the pilot will go on, but I don't think it will fire up. The pilot won't go out, but I don't think I can turn on the flames because it literally has an on-off switch. So I don't think it will. Your Badlands Hot Rod should be ready this month. Oh, nice. Good for you, man. Can't wait to get it, yeah. It's always nice to get something nice around Christmas, you know? Although, let me just give you a little advice on that. Trying to sell a used guitar around Christmas, new guitars sell around Christmas, but not used ones. People don't buy used guitars as gifts usually. They buy them for themselves. And then what they do is, like, if you look at the sales data, if I go back and look at sales data, you can see it start to drop off in September and get lower and lower and lower until you get to January, and then it friggin' shoots right back up again because people are like, oh, thank God thank God the friggin' holidays are over. Now I can buy that guitar I've been looking at, right? So if you want to sell a guitar, you'll get much better success, I think, in January. Just waiting that 1 month than you will in December. It's just the nature of, you know, where people are spending their money. Oh, thanks, man. Keep those cats warm. I know. They've discovered that it's warm around the fireplace. Buddy has. He's like, oh, a cat could get used to this. Oh man, what do we got here? Cam Doubleday. We got Fretless Ed. We got GMAC. This could be the latest roll call ever. Godfall and Martian Murray. Speaker. What's up, dude? Vanilla Slice. EC607. Tax season's a good season to sell a guitar because people get their refunds. We got Dan Anthony. I know exactly. Thank you, Offbeat Bass Gear. Oh, thanks, James. I'll show you pictures of it once it comes in. Once they get it installed. Should be the week of the 15th. Which is really good timing because that's the last guitar of the week. And so most of the guitars of the week will be going back next week. They'll get returned. And I'm not getting a new round in because there's a break. The season finale is December 15th, which is that Monday of the week that they're going to come and put the new furnace in. So the timing really works out. That's the final guitar of the week for the season, and then it starts back. Is it January 18th, 19th? 19th, January 19th. Technically, it really starts the week of January 12th, but you know, I gotta shoot the video and edit the video and get it out. So that's the week I get the guitars in, and the first video will be the 19th. Trying to sell a CBS scallop style neck. Yeah, not much interest. It's again, it's a tricky time of the year for that stuff. You know, no one's buying that as a gift, right? So they're like, well, hold on, let me get through the holidays. Let me see how my finances look once I get through Christmas. And then you'll probably see way more activity in January, February, March on used gear, you know, parts, you know, things like that. Because they'll feel like, well, at least I got through the holidays, you know. You see him, Mateus Sasato did a cover of that, right? Like, that's a great song. And I was like, they don't write them like that anymore. Love to unload your Mexican Player Series set. I mean, I'm sure you could get rid of it if you wanted to take a super low price, right? Low prices motivate buyers, but you know, I don't want to give my stuff away. So I tend to wait until the market's a little hotter, and it's definitely hotter January through like April than it is September through December. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I think he did the breakup song. Are we getting a Christmas song? We are. I have been working on it. That's another thing I've been working on this week. I finally got the final stems from the Christmas song. And I've been playing along with it a bunch of times, trying to working out. There's a little bit of a time at the end to do a guitar solo. I'm trying to work out the guitar solo. I'm trying to work against. I don't want to play the same thing the other guitar is playing. So I'm trying to you know, find complementary stuff. Although sometimes we do. You know, there's times when doubled up it sounds good, and times when doubled up it sounds too much. So you're better off to do something different. And then kind of working out, what do I like, what don't I like. I actually had a friend come by this week. He actually bought Suno for a year last weekend when they were having the big sale. And he came by and we went over a whole bunch of stuff. I showed him a whole bunch of stuff I had done in Suno, and he was laughing. He's like, dude, this is... I played him a couple of the tunes. He goes, you know, with a little bit of promotion, this is as good as any hit I've heard out there. I'm like, right? It's unbelievable. It really... He goes, you know... He goes, it's competent. Right? It's competent. And he was sort of blown away at like how good it kind of got things, right? And like he even pointed out, like this sort of like little things, little tags and stuff that they throw in. And then we talked about, because when I had sent him a version of the Christmas song in a completely different genre. And I said, this is the final Christmas song. He goes, this is the Christmas. I said, it is. I said, because the one I sent you doesn't really have a lot of guitar in it. It's not really a guitar-oriented song. So I had to make it a guitar-oriented song. And, oh, my God, did I have to go through friggin' oops to get the way I wanted it. But I got there. You know? I didn't even use half of my credits over a whole month. So we're getting there. We're getting there, little by little. Little by little. But you know what? What it really shows you is, even with AI making all that stuff, boy, you still got to put hours and hours of time in on it. Because you're like, well, this isn't quite right. I don't like what they did here. Let's see if we can do this again and see if you can pronounce that a little bit better. Just like a producer would tell the singer, hey, man, you screwed this word up. Or I don't like what you're doing there. That doesn't sound right. and tweaking the lyrics. And so when he saw the final version of the lyrics, he's like, oh, I like what you did with this. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's so funny because when I just remember, like, in English class in friggin' high school, you know, my English teacher saying you should have at least 2 or 3, you know, rough drafts. He goes, every time you look at it, you're going to see something you'd like to change. And he goes, so, go through as many drafts. He goes, you'll feel better about the final product. God, I've probably went through 100 to 150 drafts, at least 100. Saying, no, that doesn't work. No, that's not working. Oh, I like this, but then they ruin it here. Right? You're going, right? It's like, you're like, oh, God. But again, we'll see how it is in a year or two. It might be a lot easier to, to get exactly what you want. But not today. Trust me. Not today. Ian says, wrote a song for a friend of mine in Germany. She loved it. Zuno rocks. It kind of does. And the ones that I tell you that some of the ones that I really plan sometimes are the most disappointing. And the ones that I just throw together for a lark end up being like, I mean, my God, how many times have you heard that story? Yeah, we wrote that song during a break at a gig because the crowd was yelling at us for a dance song. The owner was saying he wasn't going to pay us unless we started putting asses on the dance floor so they'd buy more drinks. So we whipped up this song and it became a #1 hit, It kind of is like that. It's like your least effort sometimes turns out like some of the best results. You still have to work with Suno, but it's worth it. I agree. Alshon, you over in Japan? Oh. Good to see you, buddy. Pickle jar. I played pickle jar for him. He's like, dude, again, with he goes, with even the slightest bit of promotion, he goes, this is as good as any other freaking song out there. I'm like, right? I said, the one thing we can all agree on is that it's better than What's Going On. So we went over a whole bunch of stuff, and I told him, I said, send me, I got it on the top of my head. So remember when I told you there was going to be, this shit's going to hit the fan, right? Because due to the speed and the efficiency of AI, people are going to want to crank out songs using AI. But anything created by AI is, by definition, uncopyrightable. Only human-created songs. So there's going to be a big fight over whether that's a tool or it's doing the work for you, right? How much did you really contribute to this? Well, I wrote the prompt. Yeah, but the actual creation, right? You also set the settings on the camera. But the monkey took you bought the camera. You set the settings on the camera. You had the right lens on the camera. But the monkey took the photo. Therefore, no copyright. You got the canvas. You got all the paints. You curated the brushes. You handed the brush to the goddamn elephant. But the elephant painted the painting. The courts have already ruled on it. So yeah, you wrote some words into a prompt, but the software created the music, right? So I'm telling you right now, this is all going to blow up into this is going to court. So it might be getting there sooner than we thought. I don't know this guy, but apparently there's a country artist named Blanco Brown. Blanco, right? It's basically white brown, right? Blanco Brown. He's a black artist who is a country artist who's had a number of songs, and he has a career as a country artist. Now, the number one song a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it still is in the country charts, was turned out to be written by AI. The song sounds suspiciously like Blanco Brown, something Brown, Blanco Brown, right? Blanco, Blanco. People start blowing up his phone going like, dude, is this you? It kind of sounds like you, but it doesn't sound like you. And he's like, no, that's not me. Turns out it was some guy who actually has writing credits on Blanco Brown songs. He is a studio guy, right, from like New York, but he's like been to Nashville, and he's like this, like behind the scenes, like a studio guy with some writing credits, right? So he's the one, they trace it, they find out who, and he goes, yeah, no, I know him, he doesn't return my calls anymore. So Blanco, very smart, goes into the studio and immediately makes a cover of the song in 2 derivative works, where he keeps the music but changes the lyrics. And then he basically says, come at me, bro. Let's see how good your copyright is. Come at me, bro. So he went in and made derivative works from that AI work to say, why don't we go to court and we'll work all this out. We'll figure out exactly who owns what, because he feels like he's stolen his DNA. Now, you can't steal someone else's DNA. Doesn't really work like that. There are plenty of artists that sound like other artists. You know, when you look at, remember that band a couple of years ago that sounded like Zeppelin? Zeppelin can't sue them for sounding like Zeppelin. There's been a couple of Zeppelin-esque bands out there. You know, there was a more recent one, and then there was one back in the 80s. They sort of kind of sounded like Zeppelin. But Zeppelin can't sue them and say, hey, you're ripping off our sound. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a shit show. Get the popcorn ready. This is going to be a total shit show, because people want to get paid. People want to use these tools, and they have, there's a conflict of interest there, because you're using a tool that by definition won't get you paid. So, this is going to be, it's going to be interesting. I suspect this is going to break some ground, and we're going to get decisions. We're going to get some decisions on this. It will probably wend its way through appellate courts and maybe even to the Supreme Court, because copyright is a constitutional matter, right? The Constitution grants copyright powers and patent powers. So it's federal, and I'm telling you, get the popcorn ready. Yeah, Kingdom Come and Greta Van Fleet. It's sort of an old rip-off of Zeppelin and a newer rip-off of Zeppelin. But Zeppelin can't sue them. You kind of, right? Like Apple sued Microsoft. You stole our look and feel. Yeah, well, you stole it from Xerox, so... Yeah, exactly. Lawyers hate this one simple trick. So, we'll see what happens. I think I don't know. I think there's enough money into it that they might find a way to preserve some copyright. It would go against... That dude who had the monkey take the pick is going to lose his friggin' mind. Yeah, the Xerox Park, yeah. What's the back of the neck look like? I think it's roasted, right? Well, it looks roasted. Or it's got a tint. I think it's roasted. And don't forget it has the 5. Let's go to plate cam. It's got the 5 screws. And people always say, is that better than 4? Well, it's 1 better now, isn't it? That's just math. It's been staying in tune though, right? Yeah, you might be right on that, T-Mon. Right, performance copywritten, but the AI song still open. So that particular in other words, you could make a cover without having to split the royalties. Right. How many do I buy a MIM Strat or put David Gilmour's EMG pickups in it? Sure. I like EMGs. I don't know why people give EMGs such a hard time, but I think they sound good. I have EMGs in several of my guitars. I have a Kramer with EMGs. I have an Ibanez with EMGs. Do I have anything else with EMGs? I think I have another Ibanez I think I have 2 Ibanez guitars with EMGs. It was the style at the time. How much is this guitar? What are these? I don't think they're that bad. Where the hell is where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Jesus. What is this? This is a Sterling Axis. Nope. $699, $700. It's funny because they make one without the locking Floyd that's $399, but the Floyd Rose bumps it up to $699. Yeah, and this is in the Yucatan blue. Yucatan, Yuca, and a lava burst, which is right there. Do do. So do they, yeah, roasted maple fretboard. Roasted maple fretboard, roasted maple neck. It is a separate fretboard. There's no skunk stripe in the back. So they got to put the truss rod in through the front. Custom Alnico humbuckers. And it's got a, I think it's a Sterling branded because the patent ran out. All right. Oh, wrong one. Right there. And that. Skirabop. Doot, doot. I don't know if you saw this week, but Iron Maiden has a whole bunch of new guitars out. Yeah. The limited edition Iron Maiden collection. This isn't all of them, but it's quite a few of them. Of course, you got the Dave Murray Strat. Right, a classic. Right, the Dave Murray Stratocaster. And another Dave Murray Strat. And of course, the Steve Harris bass. And another Steve Harris bass. And then I want to say, and I don't know if they link to their other brands here. Do they do? No, they don't. No, they don't. The Gibson lists their other brands. The Adrian Smith one is Jackson, right? Because he's been a Jackson guy for years. It's under the Fender umbrella. It's FMIC. So, like, the whole band got signature guitars this week. Not that they didn't have them before. I feel like the Dave Murray Strat and the Adrian Smith Jackson, you know, and the Steve Harris bass have been things for years. But but now it's the 2025 version. Don't get cheap on me, bro. Come on. I mean, you say you like Maiden, but are you buying the collection? But she's, and see if you know this line, but she hasn't, but she's got a new hat. One of the greatest lines. It's the same thing she's been doing forever. There's like a little pause, but she's got a new hat. Do-do. Hey, speaking of Sterling and circuitously EVH, because the Axis is pretty much his guitar carried on. The EVH amp brand just put out a modeling amp, and it's not cheap either. It's like $1,700. It's like a solid state modeling amp. It's just a matter of time. It weighs it's a fan on my freaking computer. The fan is dying on my freaking computer. You hear that? That's like one of the cooling fans out front. Could this week get any worse? It's the digital version of the EVH. I think it's a 5150 versus the tube version. It's 35 pounds lighter. Well, the fret ends on this are really good. In fact, it's got a really good, I don't know, kind of hard to see, but it's got a really nice rolled edge. It's very rounded, It's got a nice roll to it. which is nice on a guitar that's, you know, not a ton. My heat is broke. Oh man. So I don't have it over here, but let me see if I can call it up. Yeah. Is this it? Yeah. I got one of these. They have the... Oh, they're out of stock. Oh, they won't even let you choose it. Oh, that sucks. I got the black one, but you can't even see it. There's a new kind of budget king on the market. Mangmai. That runs Android. It's actually got a Snapdragon chip in it, that's pretty crazy, considering it's, you know, what is it? $89.99. It's under $100, and it's actually pretty smoking. I think it's got a 1080p screen, and it's a touch screen. For under $100, I got the black one. Yeah, it's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 662. That's crazy with an Adreno 610. You know, for $90, and I paid even less because I got it on a pre-sale. I paid $10 less. I think I paid $90. I think it was $15 shipping or $20 shipping. So I paid $79 plus it might have been $20 to ship it. It might have been $99. It still kept it under $100 though. And yeah, it's a 1080p with 400 nits. I'm telling you, the screen is sick. It's pretty crazy, and it's running Android 14, which is relatively new. I'm just saying, I did pick one up, and it's been impressive. It kind of is. They're calling it the new budget king, and I kind of agree with them. It kind of is the new budget king. You know, it's got that's some pretty good specs for less than $100. Really good. So the only problem is, for a lot of people, unlike the Linux systems, Android, you got to know what you're doing. I was so down on Android when I first got them, because what a pain in the ass to configure. But I got it. And now that I've spent a year figuring out how to get it going, they're actually pretty good. And you can actually get way more performance out of Android sometimes. It just depends. But no, it's pretty crazy, you know. So it's funny because this other company that people loved their stuff when it first came out, it's like something Pro. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, they're going to come out with a new one, and after this one came out, people were like, "Why?" It's going to be the same. It's going to be $79, $89, and this like blows it away. You just got obsoleted, bro. Don't even bring it to market. What's that, like the Smart Pro or something like that? And they were going to come out with like the Smart Pro Plus or something, and they're like, don't bother. You just got outclassed. Hey, my God, it's my buddy Perfecto. What's up, bro? Does it act as an handheld? Because it's got a Snapdragon, it'll probably run a lot of just Android games, but Android games need a little bit of processing power. And if you noticed, it's only got 4 gigs of RAM. I feel like a lot of Android games need 8 gigs of RAM. So you might not get a ton, right? It might not be like really good for Android games, but for retro gaming, it's friggin' sick. Oh yeah, you're in Manila right now? Nice. We're talking about Steve Cropper earlier. I don't think that's it. I think it's that. I'd have to listen to it again. Are you there on business or pleasure? Maybe a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. And am I going to see you at NAMM? I probably will. You're always at NAMM. I'm booked, bro. And I got some really good rates because I bought my everything during the shutdown, and rates had really fallen because they didn't know when the shutdown was going to end. So I took a chance during the shutdown and bought all my flights and my hotel, and I it was pretty good. My round trip flight from Boston to LA was $260, and my hotel was $91 a night. It's pretty good. That's some of the lowest I've ever paid to go to NAMM. And this year, I got sponsors. Which is always good. My most affordable year, I finally get sponsors. Stuck in your stupid ass house, yeah. I'm kind of stuck here too because until my furnace gets fixed, I mean, can you leave the house with a bunch of space heaters running? I don't think so. I think that's a bad idea. So I don't think I can really leave the house. Certainly the house can't be left unoccupied until we get the new furnace put in. And that's at least 10 days. Yeah, it's about 10 days away. On tour, nice. Been to China and Japan already. Oh, nice. See you at NAMM. Yeah, I'll see you at NAMM. I wouldn't leave heaters on while not home, right? That's like leaving something on the stove. It's a bad idea. You remember that? Was that an SNL skit, Bad Idea Jeans? Right? He's like, the relationship's over, but I'm still going to tell my wife about the affair. And they come in, bad idea. Wearing Bad Idea jeans. He goes, yeah, I'm going to Haiti on vacation, but I'm not going to pack any condoms. That was when Haiti had a big explosion in AIDS, right? Back in, I'm going to say the 90s. They're like, bad idea. Bring us all back something. I will, sure. Mostly stories. Have a good one, Perfecto. I'll see you in January, buddy. Last year, your furnace went out. Cost me $24,000. Oh my God, mine's only $8,000. Man, That's crazy. Geothermal, sure, yeah. So it's a big upfront cost, but your ongoing cost should be relatively low. Neighbor works for United States Postal Service, doing a route on the ground. A fully assembled Sterling by Music Man Silhouette. I don't think I know that one. Is that like an acoustic, like the version of like the what do they call that? The ghost guitar or something? Like the yeah. Oh no. That oh no, that's nice. Yeah. Do you recognize any of these? Go to images. Anything like that? That kind of looks like a friggin' Victory. What you got? You got the red, you got the burst, you got the white, you got the Blanco. Nice. Mm-hmm. I did see that Pete Thorne post. Good for him. You know, so when I was with Pete in Germany, you know, he doesn't wear them in videos a lot, but he did have, when he was there, he had a special set of like corrective glasses where one lens is like it's thicker in like different orientation than his other lens. So his straight eye had like a regular eyeglasses, but his other one was definitely like modified to help with his. There's a name for it. The common name is like cross-eyed versus lazy eye, but that's not it. There's a medical term when your eye goes slightly in, or your eye goes slightly out, or your eye goes slightly up, or your eye goes slightly down, right? But the thing is from what I understand, they won't do the surgery until you've exhausted, because it's such a thing. They won't do it until they've exhausted other treatments. That's the treatment of last resort. So obviously they felt like, well, listen, you've tried everything else, and it doesn't seem to be working. And so he finally went with the surgery. What camera gear am I taking to NAMM this year? You know what? I'm probably just like I've done in the last 2 years. I just took my phone. My phone camera is so good, and the stabilization is so good. And I have external microphones, wireless mics that I can run right directly to it, and it works great. I used that last year. That I'll probably just use my phone. I can't, quite frankly, the battery lasts longer. And the images are really good. The only other thing I would take would be like a GoPro, but my GoPro is old now. My GoPro is from like 2020, I think. 2019, 2020. I think 2020. And I just can't. You know, the phone is better quality at this point. It really is. It shoots in full HDR. It shoots in HEVC, right? High efficiency video codec. So it's like it's so good. It's so cutting edge because I always buy the latest phone every year that it's hard to compete with my phone quality at this point. There was a time when I thought the GoPro did a better job, but not any longer. Now the phone has exceeded the GoPro. Pizza Eye looks really good. Yeah, I know. I saw that. It looks really good. He's just got to heal up and just hope for no infection, right? I'm sure they're giving him all kinds of antibiotics for his eyes, right? To make sure he doesn't get any sort of infection. And then that's it. You're good to go. He's just got to go through the healing process. You got the maroon one? Is that the one you got? Is that... Oh. This one. GoPro is a great choice for sure. I think the image is really saturated and contrasty. You know, they do that. They know they know their market. It's consumers. I just think of the time I met up with, that was probably 2019. I met up with Henning at, because I got there early, and I went down to the guitar section. I'm there 2 hours before the doors open, and I walk down the final aisle and I can see Henning down the end. Oh, thank you, man, for the Furnace Fund. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. I see Henning, and he's got an assistant. He's got Harry plays guitar, his assistant, and he's got a big giant rig, and they're shooting like this big expensive camera, and he's got the battery, remote mics, and all this stuff. And I just had my GoPro, and we went and did a couple of booths together. And I have to say, I thought my footage looked better than his footage, because I was right close up on it, so I had a ton of detail. I was able to, like, you know, get the whole thing, and I didn't use the warping effect, right? I had everything straightened out. I thought it looked clear, and I didn't have to pack all that crap. And I don't know. I was impressed with how the GoPro looked, because we both shot this. We went and did like 3 booths together, so I could see his video and my video. Gotta say, I thought my video looked pretty good. Yeah, the medical term is, amblyopia. Yeah, you got an 80s Kramer Farrington. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's true. You look like you're way more pro showing up with a big rig. That's true. You might get better treated by the vendor. Sure. No, I agree with that. There's a psychology to that. I will say this. The next year, 2020, which was the last year before the pandemic break, right? Because the pandemic break started in first week of March. And so January, everything was still, the flights and everything was all normal. I believe he was using a DJI, their handheld. I can't think of the name of it, but it's got the built-in gimbal. He was using the, he loves DJI. He doesn't like GoPro. I'm the opposite. I would take GoPro over DJI any day. Yeah, the Osmo. Is it the Osmo? No, it's the other one. I had the Osmo. That's the one that looks like the GoPro. There's another one that's not the Osmo. Not the Pocket 3. The Pocket 3. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Versus, I think the other one's the Osmo Pro. Pro 5. They just came out with the Pro 6. Is the S36, I think you mean 36S, still a decent handheld? It is, but I'm noticing support for it is waning. Right, they haven't done ArcOS hasn't done an update in months, like over 6 months. So you wonder if it's like they're just saying like we're not going to develop for it any longer. Have a good one, D-Mont. Yeah, I've been playing, I got my Fender The Strat out. Because I'm probably going to use that for my Christmas song because it's red and it has the gold hardware. Kind of looks Christmassy. I forget how much I like that guitar. I'm always like, oh, I should just sell that. I never play it. And then I play it and I'm like, oh my God, I love this guitar. It's got the best friggin' neck on it. Which I think is a V. You could order it with any neck shape you wanted. So there have been documented versions of C and U and D and V, and I'm pretty sure that's got a V on it. In fact, a friend of mine played it. He goes, dude, V-neck. I'm like, right? That's a V-neck all day. I think I like the V-neck. Because of the side slope. That is good. That is good. Have a good one, James. It's called the Fender The Strat. It's from... Mine's an 82. They made them 80, 81, and 82. They were only around for 3 years. First year, 80. Second year, 81. And the third year, 82. And then they were discontinued. Flying V-neck, yeah. I really hate V-necks, too. Ever played through a PV Studio Pro 40? I have not. At the music store there, we weren't a PV dealer. We're famously not. We were Crate. Crate and Fender were our two biggest brands. And our competitor was PV. Good to see you, Rev Gary. You want an All I Want for Christmas Part 2 song? One of my versions of my Christmas song, a friend of mine called it the anti-Mariah. He loved it. He goes, I love it. He goes, it's like an anti-Mariah Carey song. I'm like, it kind of is. It's from the Steel Panther Academy of Songcraft. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think Suno is a part of their settlement with Warner. Is they're cracking down on commercial stuff, or maybe if it's a Warner product, they might say, "No, you can do it, but we have to charge you a fee, and you have no right to distribute." Right? I don't think you can make a derivative work. So who knows what's going to happen in the long term, or even the short term. I don't so remember KMD. I do remember Crate, though. God, we sold a lot of Crates. Sold a lot of Fender. We were a big Fender dealer. People endorsed Crate and never used them live. I feel like that was Satriani with Peavy. I mean, was it Peavy? I think Satriani had a big Peavy deal. But I feel like he never played them. He played Marshalls. A lot of Blue Voodoos. Yeah, I remember the Blue Voodoo. I also remember we had, like, I forget that it was like a 60-watt crate. God, that thing was friggin' loud. Like a 60-watt, like, crate that we used to carry that was pretty loud. Was it, might have even been 100-watt. It was a combo, too. Thing weighed a ton. Thanks, Gonfall. It's just a way to sound better than you are. Just use a few bends, you know. Suddenly went mixo. Too cold down here for cats. Oh no, there's one cat right there. That's Henri. Staying warm. Sorry if I missed it. How's Buddy Cat doing? Buddy Cat's doing great. He's my wife's even noticed. She goes, he is definitely putting weight back on. He is. He was so bony. I mean, you could feel his freaking spine and his freaking she goes, what are those bumps in the back? I go, that's his pelvic bone. He's like skin and bones. And he's getting all plumpy now. He's definitely putting weight back on. Yeah, Cutie had the tail problem. She seemed to fully recover. She was sitting in this chair. I had to boot her out of it. I was like, I kind of need to sit there. She was like, what? I'm like, why don't you go over on the couch? And she's like, I'm just leaving. Whatever. These pickups do sound pretty good, though. Do I have a favorite physical amp? Probably the Hughes and Kettner, which is why I still have it. Right there. Which I had turned on the other day because it gives off quite a bit of heat. I had all my lamps turned on. It was so freaking cold down here. I didn't have a space heater. I said, well, one way to give off a lot of heat is to turn a lot of appliances on. So I turned that amp on. I turned all the lights on. It actually did bring it up in here, you know, like 4 or 5 degrees. Do I own any 70s lawsuit guitars? I do. I have the Ibanez. It's called like the 2350, but it's the Les Paul Custom pretty much. Exactly, it's a room heater amp. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, the new 5150s. It seemed a little pricey. It's a modeling amp, but a solid state modeling amp for like $16.99, but you know. You know, when you can get like a Katana for around, what, $500? And you can get, I'm going to say probably Black Star has an amp. Line 6 probably has an amp, all around about $500 for a modeling amp. Even Marshall, I think, had the modeling amp, though they kind of sucked. The code, Marshall code's blue. Katanas are real good, though. I love the Katana. You know, it feels like it's a little tricky, a little tricky. That's quite a leap. It's like $1,000 more. You know, more like $1,100 more. I think the top of the line Katana is like $599, and this is like $16.99. Kind of a tough sell, I think. Yeah, right. There's always brand hardos that just wanna. They'll just want it because it's an EVH. I know. I was actually so I can run a you know, I have the liquid cooling, and I can run a stress test on my CPU and just max it out, and you can start to feel the heat come off the top of that thing, right? As the liquid heats up. And it's shuttling off all the heat out through the radiator. You can feel it. I tell you, when you wake up and the temperature on the, you know, on the desk, I have a little desk thermometer, is 50. That floor is freaking cold. We have hardwood floors. Let me tell you, that's a cold freaking floor right there. Yeah, right. New XS modeling amps. There's a whole bunch of brands with modeling amps. So. I haven't seen the latest KDH video, no. Is it with Glenn Fricker? What's the Canada kid? Is it Fricky? After 30 years of playing Bogners and VHT, you went with a Fractal and a Kemper 4 years ago and wish you had done it sooner. You know, could it be Stevie T? He's another Canadian, right? You know, it's where it's headed. Just because they're more consistent gig to gig. And I think Guthrie Govan said it best. He said, you know, whatever rig I brought, I was always limited to that amp and that cab, and then whatever effects I had. He goes, once I went full digital, he goes, I realized I could change amps, I could change cabs. He goes, it opened up a whole new world of sounds that were more authentic. What if we play the clean sound and I'm going through a Vox? What if I play the distorted sound and I'm going through a Marshall? He goes, it's just, you know, it sounded better. And that's why he switched, you know. A jerk at a music show asking for free guitars. Oh man, I used to get that so much. It always starts out with a sob story. You know, after the meteor hit the barn and, you know, my sheep went crazy and killed my mule. And, you know, everyone's on their deathbed. And I just got in a major car accident. And if I only could just get a free guitar. I used to get that, you know, when I had the Chinese ones, oh my God, those, because, you know, you get millions of views, you start to bring out people. And I would always get someone saying, hey man, why don't you send me one of those guitars for free? I was like, why don't you just buy one, bro? I'm like, oh, I don't have any money. It's like, well then, Is that my problem? Is that Mike? Exactly. Wait, you totaled your car, but you want a guitar? Oh my God, yeah, you would get all kinds of sob stories. And that's when I found out I had some horrible disease. Insert horrible disease here. It almost felt like a little bit like a, like a bit of a, almost like a Mad Libs. And then I got, and that led to, they just fill it all in. Yeah, if I have like inexpensive guitars, I've given a bunch out to friends. I gave a bunch to a friend I've known for many years. And I gave a couple to a local music school. They were like Squires and Starcasters, that like real entry level. And my God, I went over them. I cleaned up those frets. I got everything polished. I set the action, the intonation, fresh set of strings. And I gave them to a local music school. And I said, any chance? He goes, absolutely. He goes, sometimes people show up, they couldn't bring their guitar. They went straight from school or whatever. He said, so it's good to have a guitar here, that they can play. I said, yeah, you can just take them. And sometimes I get like, I did get one guitar that just wasn't working right, and they sent me a replacement. And I felt bad about that, but it's like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. It just doesn't work. And they sent me the replacement. The replacement worked fine, but they didn't want the other one back. I wound up giving the broken one to a friend. I think he got it going. I think he got it fixed. It was an acoustic that had a pickup system. The guitar worked fine, but I couldn't get the pickup system to start up. It worked on like a switch when you plugged it in. It wouldn't come on. And they're like, well, you have to have it plugged in. I'm like, it is plugged in. It won't work. I can't get it to go. And I think they thought it was me. I said, they're like, check the battery. I'm like, I checked the battery. I put a brand new battery in it. It's all fine. There's something wrong here. And sure enough, they sent me the replacement. It all worked perfectly. So, I'm not crazy. Your guitar was crap. What's up, Zach? But the replacement was fine. But, it's going to happen. You eventually, you're going to get a guitar that doesn't work out of the box. That's just statistics. Have a good one, Justin. Yeah, we're wrapping up here in about 10 minutes. You gave away a Squire Strat and a solid state Fender amp. I had the matching Fender amp. It didn't work. Turned it on, it just squealed with nothing plugged into it. I said, no, that's going into the trash. It's such a tiny amp, it's not even worth trying to fix it. Right in the trash. Oh my God, you hearing that squeaking? That's a friggin'... Luckily, I have a whole friggin'... set of replacement fans that I keep in stock. I can throw a fan in it like literally tomorrow. It's squeaking. It's making me crazy. Squeak, 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 squeak. Listen to that thing. You hear that? Hold on. You hear it? Making me mental. Yeah, make sure oh yeah, here we go. Make sure that's on. Oh. Could you hear it? Yeah. Although this sounds like it's getting a little... How's my tone clamp working here? Come on, Clampy. What am I paying? What am I paying you for? There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, I get up super early this morning. I had to go up to my father-in-law's and install a new shower head. Which I picked up a set of soft jaws. I didn't have a set, and just in case I had to, it was going to be hard to pull that off. I wanted to have a set of soft jaws for the chrome pipe, right, for the fixture pipe, because you don't want to, who cares about the shower head that you're replacing? But you don't want to scratch the actual pipe, right? So I got a set of soft jaws. Boy, that worked great. You got the soft jaws on it, and got the other one came right off. He had, I thought he had plumber's dope on it, whoever installed it, but it was just Teflon tape. It was just the blue stuff, and I had the white, and I loaded it up. Got the new shower head on, working good. Working real good. Have a good one, Sammy. I'm going to be wrapping up in about 8 minutes or so. Nowadays, most schools where I live lost the funding for their music programs. It's really sad. We actually put an override on our ballot, and the town voted it in because they were going to have to eliminate. And we have like a marching band and a jazz band that does all kinds. We have won platinum, and they do all kinds of state awards. It's a big part of the school, and they were going to have to eliminate it. They're like, we literally have a shortfall. The only way we can do this with a prop. We have a prop 2.5, which means they can't raise rates unless you override it. And the town put through an override. May catch you at NAMM. I'll be there. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it. It's funny because when I got to my father-in-law's, I walked in and it's like, oh man, this house is nice and warm. Must be nice. Have a working furnace. He was toasty in there. He keeps it warm though. He's elderly and it has been cold. So he's got the heat cranked. Do. I don't think it's that. I think it's that. What do you recommend for us parents here in North Carolina? Well, you need community buy-in, which is hard to get. You know, I think enough parents had their kids go through the music program that they were like, you know what? We should preserve this. We don't want this to go away. And so you got the community to come together, and they were short. It was something like $280,000. I mean, it's not a small amount of money. It's actually quite a bit of money, which is why they had to do an override to pay for it. But they did it. They did put the override through. Is the temperature supposed to drop between now and the 15th? It is. We have some really Arctic air going to come back down for the start of next week, and then it should get back up to like the 40s. It's below normal for like the next 10 days. And sometimes really below normal. Normal for this time of year is like 40, 41 degrees. And it's going to be between like 20 and 28 degrees. What is it? What did you see? Is there something up in the window? You hear something up there? Steve, please stay warm and stay careful and healthy. Have a very Merry Christmas and a great 2026. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Though I will be back next week. And I don't really cancel the live shows. I do the live shows. It's the Guitar of the Week that's going to end on the 15th. And it doesn't return until the 19th of January. But I still do the live shows. I can regale you with all the fun of putting in the new furnace. I got to, in fact, I have to call them on Monday and green light it and say, yep, we're doing this. We are doing this. Done deal, pal. Yeah. I always thought it was this triad and then this triad, which is the same triad, just the notes are in a different arrangement, right? 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. And then this is just the minor, A minor. Hiram Bullock. That's this chord, right? Have a good one, speaker. We'll talk soon. Yeah, we're just about wrapping it up here. Yeah, it's 8:59. Kind of flew by tonight. Check me next week. Check out Monday's video. I haven't shot it yet because I was too busy today. I didn't have a chance to shoot the video. I'll probably shoot it tomorrow. Because it's a bye week for the Pats, so I won't be watching the Pats game during the afternoon. I can whip together Monday's videos, and it's a good one. Good guitar. And then the big finale the week thereafter, which has a really good guitar. We're going to finish strong. We're going to finish on a big high note. So, yeah, Good stuff is in store. How's that for promotion? Yeah, no, it's good. It's great. Tune in. What a salesman. All right. You guys have a wonderful week. Stay warm if you can. If you can. I will see you guys in a week. I'll still be cold because we won't still have a furnace in a week, but hopefully the week after that, I'll tell you all about my new furnace and how hot it is in there. And how the second I put it in, the temperature outside went to 60, 65, of course. Isn't that how it works, right? It'll be friggin' like Arctic air, and then I put it in, they're like, unusually warm. Sure. No, you rock. All right, guys, you have a wonderful night. You have a wonderful week. We'll do it all again. In a week, check out Monday's video. And there you have it. All right, dudes, I'm out of here. Later. I'll see you next week. All right.